What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sketch a Day Live. It's a cold day today. It's a cold day. Oh, goodness. Hello. Welcome, Latrice. Thanks for joining the stream, everyone. If you're watching on the Instagram, again, there is a link for you to check out if you want to see the full stream on YouTube. Thanks for joining me live today. Happy Sunday. What's that? We're November 15th. Man, time flies. Hope you guys have been having fun this week drawing and doing all the drawy art stuff. We're gonna go digital today. Not Photoshop. I'm gonna do Procreate because I didn't prepare for Photoshop, but I will do some Photoshop next week, Photoshop sketching. So you can always hit me up in the Discord as well if you have ideas or suggestions. And the link for that should be in the video description. So check it out and definitely let me know what you think. All right. Why is my camera off? My bad, guys. Sorry about that. I thought I was ready. Every time I think I need I really should have a checklist. And then I just go through that checklist because otherwise it's, kind of embarrassing. I switch and then you see something else and it's just like, whoa, what's going on? All right, for those on the Instagram, I'm going to paste a link in chat here. Welcome to visit the link. Definitely pin it, give it a subscribe, bookmark, whatever. I don't think a lot of people on Instagram even know I have a YouTube channel, so just want to mention that. This hat is really freaking hot, so I may take it off here in a minute. Okay, so we're going to be sketching on the iPad. These are just some old weapons concepts we did a while back. All right, let's go. If you missed it, by the way, Fan Friday was awesome. I'll just do a pinch here. We went over some sketches. Thanks, Tom, for your submission. If you don't know what that is, Fan Friday is a chance for you to submit your work, get feedback, show off, whatever it is you're after or up to. I'll share your work there. And then we also had another sketch by Mystery that I kind of gave my riff on. So that's what we did on Fan Friday. Okay, let's get started. As always, I'm going to warm up, but let's create a new document. And I'm going to do something a little different in terms of size. Let's go with I think the 4K option should work because it's a little bit wider. Yeah, I definitely want a wider view here. So I'll just warm up in the same file. So let's do some straight lines. And I'm using my brush kit here. Again, if you are curious, you can check out the website for links to the things I use. Thank you, Mystery. Sorry you weren't able to make it there. Momink, hello. GG, LOL, hello. From Britain. Hello, hello. Welcome. You guys are too generous. Okay, here we go. So straight lines. So like I said, I'm using the brushes from my brush kit. Music brought to you by Final Kaiju, aka, or Paul Sohi, aka Final Kaiju. Thanks for putting together the beats. You can check out his work using the link in the video description. Let's get some circles. So again, if you're watching on the Instagram, if you follow that link, you'll actually get the full output of what I'm doing here with my dongle and my whole setup and all that stuff. So feel free to check that out. And just for reference on the YouTube, this is kind of my setup, how I'm holding things here. Camera's a little bit blown out, so apologies there, but just want to point out again, how you hold your stylus makes a difference. So try and pay attention to that. Hello, Francisco. Yeah, when you have a screen on camera, it can be really hard to get all the adjustments right. Yeah, this hat is making my head really hot. I mean, it feels nice, kind of like going into a hot tub, but who wants a hot tub on their head? It's like, maybe in concept it makes sense. I am going to be live on Adobe this week. That's behance.net/live. I'll share the link with you. Oh, sorry to hear that, Mystery. Sorry to hear that. I have a busy week ahead. I'm doing some stuff with Adobe, and then I'm conducting a design sketching masterclass for some professionals in Mexico. So What was I looking up here again? Oh, that's right. That's right. I was going to send you this link, so if you want to check it out. This is where I'm going to be. I know Latrice has joined on occasion, so that's where I'm going to be sketching this week on, I think it's Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, I need to triple check, but it should be Wednesday and Thursday. All right, warming up with some concentric circles. It is Sci Fi Sunday, so welcome. Hopefully you're ready to sketch some weird stuff. Feel free to sketch along or just watch as we sketch some happy little weird things. All right. I should probably just delete these layers, actually. Let's go ahead and delete. On Friday as well, I did an overview of Procreate, so if you missed that, check it out. It just goes over the UI, how to use it, what I do, all that stuff, brushes. Okay, so we're gonna build a scene, like a cinematic scene is my plan, with some sort of structure and maybe someone walking up to this view. It's a pretty common perspective point of view. So I'll kind of show you how I map it out, and then we're just gonna paint it. So I'm planning to do just one painting today, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you. I love the hat too, but it's a little hot today. This room I'm in is really small and weird, so sometimes it's hard to. I'm gonna rotate this so I can do my ellipses. So yeah, this room is really small and it's hard sometimes to, like, if you ever saw it in person, I know some of you have. Patrons have given a tour. There's also a studio tour, but it's really, really small. I think it's like 6 foot by 13 or 14 maybe. I'd have to take a look at it and let you know. Maybe I should rearrange the whole room. I don't know. Just thinking out loud, but it's all good. I mean, I could now that I think about it. Nah, I'll leave it. I suffer from designer ADD sometimes, where you like... We're just warming up with ellipses, by the way. You feel the need to constantly change, adapt, modify, tweak things in life. Alright, so I'm going to delete this layer just because Procreate, depending on the size of the file you have, will limit how many layers you can do. So this is a 4K file. Hello, Francesco from Italy. Hello, hello. All right, so let's go ahead and start a scene here and set up. So I'm not going to use a perspective grid. I mean, I could, but I'm going to start with something like this. And let's just do some rough red line sketch. Okay, and we're setting up our scene here. All right, so this, this maybe goes off screen in terms of perspective grid, or we could force it over a bit more. But I had this idea in my head of perhaps some sort of structure. So I'm just gonna put down some reference perspective lines here. And I don't know what the structure looks like necessarily, but let's go ahead and just play around a bit. All right, so some sort of structure here, and I'm using kind of a red line drawing, and I quite enjoy framing scenes out. So for purposes of explaining composition, what I'm trying to do is get a third, third, and another third. All right, rule of thirds, if you will, if you've studied photography or scene composition. That's one way to break things up. So that's what I'm trying to do. I should have done a new layer. So let's have a layer just for notes and stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to get roughly, so that's why the horizon line's here, roughly a third of the way. And then I could break up the scene also into thirds. So in terms of emphasis, you don't have to hold yourself to the grid per se, but my goal would be to like have mountains or something here, sky, right? And then you could kind of design and create whatever other structures need to be in the scene based on these thirds. I guess I turned it into part of the underlay. So let's merge down. I'll do that again with a different color for you. So again, trying to hit thirds in the scene composition. And then the foreground, right? So if I want to break this out, and I like using red and blue lines to kind of map out the scene. Oh, congrats, Xavier. That's awesome. Xavier says he's watching the video while waiting for your wife to deliver the new baby. Congrats. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. Congratulations. I remember when my former spouse was delivering our child. And I was trying to pass time, but okay, so on two instances, the first child, I had a project I had to finish because I was running my own business at the time, and I was sitting in the delivery room working on a 3D model, SolidWorks. I don't remember. Oh, I think I remember the project too. It was for Tupperware at the time, so I was working on a 3D model while, you know, all that's going on. But you got to do what you got to do. And then the second time, I decided for every contraction, because I was like into fitness and stuff at the time, like really, really, really into it, doing Tough Mudders and stuff. The second time I decided I would do 20, what do you call them? Push-ups, 20 push-ups in a row to commiserate or be in solidarity with that struggle. So anyhow, needless to say, that's the reason I'm divorced. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's a Sketch a Day Live. Thanks for joining. All right, so we got some sort of structure, and you know, if there's some ravine or something, we could kind of map that out and place it like so. We'll figure out the design here. We'll figure out the design and certainly the foreground, what's happening. So the foreground, you know, if I have, like I said, I was planning on having some sort of figures, so I'll just kind of block in. So some sort of figure, you know, whether they're looking off into the distance and there's, you know, other superstructures or something here, who knows? Alien landscape. So I don't even know if I want this one here, but we can certainly, you know, change things as is needed. So in the foreground, maybe just throw down some lines. And maybe they have like some sort of robot companion, right? I haven't designed it yet, but some sort of robot companion. I'm trying to think here. I mean, it certainly helps to have like a story in mind. Like maybe this is a distant planet and there's a mining operation or something. So we could certainly play with thematic elements or some sort of spire. I don't know. I like spires. Everyone loves spires, right? Maybe there's several of these spire structures off to the distance. I kind of like that. So we'll do that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and truncate this structure. Maybe this is one of the spires, actually, or some sort of spire-like structure on top. Of course, we're not gonna see the whole thing. Actually, that is kind of cool. So we could throw an ellipse there and then have like this nice big round element, and then maybe this comes off or something. So we can kind of just keep building. This goes down into our cavernous hole. Anyhow, so point is, when in doubt, rough it out. Like I always say, play around, see if you can figure something out. That's right, serious illustrator love. Shirts are available on the site, by the way. I haven't really been promoting those, but if you guys are interested in t-shirts, and to be very clear, I don't make a ton of money on t-shirts. I think it's like $5 per shirt, but I created them because I love them. Just like what I do is I do it because I love. But there's that Illustrator shirt. I do owe you a shirt, Jordan, so I will make sure I hook that up. We are drawing some sort of sci-fi scene is what we're doing. So I'm just trying to like map things out. All right, so this works for me because here you can kind of see we've got this structure and then this one, like one that's close to us, right? One that's close to us here. I don't know what this is. Maybe this is, yeah, so this little tower here, and then we got like a bigger one. So to kind of repeat the element, but also frame the scene, and like I was saying, planning it out in terms of thirds. So this figure breaks the third. Okay, breaks that third. Maybe they're holding some giant weapon or something. Who knows? But they're interested in what's going on in the scene. Okay, so I think this is enough for me roughed out that I can kind of place things. I should mention, by the way, I did post in the Patreon / YouTube channel member chat on Discord. I'm going to remove that red. It's a little distracting. I did post on the Discord that the final version, I may change the cover still, but as far as the content goes, we're locked in. So that is now available on the Google Drive and will be available to the rest of you shortly through the website. All right. So again, the red blue pencil thing just kind of helps me map things out. All right, so our horizon line, I guess it's somewhere here. So this ellipse would be a bit bigger. This one would be a little tighter, but that's all just for reference anyways, as we draw this gnarly tower structure, whatever it is. And then we're gonna paint this. So that's my goal. We're just doing a nice big sci-fi painting today using Procreate 5X. That's what we're using. I don't know what's wrong with my phone, but it keeps doing weird stuff. So hopefully the Instagram stream is still working for you. If not, you can always check out, like I said, the YouTube stream if you're watching on Instagram. All right. Sorry, got a little distracted there. Had a message come in. Welcome into us with Sketchbook Pro. I don't use Sketchbook Pro, really. $60 for drawing. I would get pens and paper if I were you. I would definitely get pens and paper. Okay, so my guess is because this file is so big, you can actually check in Procreate how many layers you can get. So if I go to settings, canvas information, it's going to tell me how many layers I can get, or it should, yeah, under layers. So I can do 72 layers. All right, 72 layers. So let's go. Let's make this super light. I think I'm gonna change the background color to some sort of grayish color. Grayish blue, perhaps. Just make a new layer, and now I'm gonna start painting. And paint, I'm gonna use paint in a loose, what's the word? A loose way. I'm gonna use this real marker brush a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and get some horizon in. Horizon and sky. So this is just my Sketch Today marker brush. We're gonna keep it loose, and then we'll tighten up elements as we need. And then now for the background elements, nice desaturated tones here. Things like these mountains. And then foreground, I get to decide, you know, is this a red rock, is it gray? But I'll go ahead and block in some of that with that marker brush. And let's go ahead and get our little pit here. I think I'm gonna do like some red light effect on the rocks in these pits, but let's go ahead and make this dark. All right, just keeping it loose for now. I do have the sketch here. Maybe I'll put this further up so we can kind of see what's happening a bit better. I'm just gonna block in some of these little pits, mining pits, on our planetary scene here, wherever they are. All right, so I've got these pits blocked in. Now I need to do these like structures. Maybe I'll use a solid brush for this one. Just this nice round brush. I guess I could do a more, what's the word? Darker value here. And then I'll try and pull in some textures as well. And we'll use those textures over the colors to kind of make this go a little faster. All right. So Sketch Day Live. Thanks everyone for joining. Being a part of the stream and hanging out. Mad love. Props to Mr. Paul Sohi for contributing the fat beats to the show, as always. Alright, so just block in some solid colors. Alright, when in doubt, rough it out. Work light till you get it right. Contrast is your friend, all of that good stuff. Okay? I don't know what's happening here, actually. But I had this idea of like, maybe there's like grooves in the ground, almost like, you know, when you're flying and there's like patchwork on the ground, farms. I was thinking maybe we could do that here in our scene. What do I call these? Tech lines on the ground. Maybe it's covered, parts of it are covered in metal or something. I do want to tie the foreground piece here. Where did I put you? We're gonna do a lot of this. You're gonna see me do a lot of this, turning things on and off, because that's how I kind of identify where layers are as I'm working. What's up, Philip? Long time. Hey. Oh, okay. Diet Coke and coffee. We got some catching up to do then. It's been too long. It's been way too long. Yes, definitely draw every day. I try to take. I mean, it's easy for me because I have the show, and I'm always drawing already. But you know, find ways, opportunities, time to draw for sure when you can. Okay, let me pick this color. I don't even know where my foreground is. I think it's not that one. Oh yeah, there it is. This should really be on the very top. Now I'm nervous, Phil, because you're like a legit painter and stuff. I'm just pretending. All right, so there's my foreground. Let me jump to midground. Maybe I'll use this one. I don't know where that stroke even came from. Okay, let's just erase that. But I do want, you know, some rock formations here and there for sure, just to make sure we're tying in what's kind of happening on the foreground to the rest of the scene. Hello, Trinken. I'm gonna do a quick chat check-in. It's been moving fast today, so appreciate you guys tuning in. Shout out to, let's see, Esmeralda Dakes 24, Xavier D, Lori, Jordan, what's up? Bro Anime, Dave, Sparsh, Alex Cheetah. We've got Giacomo, Trinken, Bill, Philip, and Marzi. Hello. Welcome to Sci Fi Sunday. Just want to say hey and say thanks for tuning in and hanging out with me. Hopefully you guys have fun. All right, we're using Procreate 5X today, and my goal is to create just a reasonably quick painting here. So let's see how far we get. All right, so there it is without the lines. I'm going to turn it down about that much now, and now I can kind of focus on blocking in a bit more. Okay, so think about light source. All right, if should I do a red sun or some sort of weird sun? Let's say we have, you know, some sort of moon or whatever here. Maybe it's a binary thing. You know, this is going to be the direction of my light, so everything outside of that is going to be in shadow, and specifically I'm going to try and use cool grays for those shadows. I may use in the range of like a purple, you could use that, but it's going to help balance out the scene a bit. All right, so that's something you can, you know, I talk about quite a bit in terms of, actually, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you something. So if you notice, well, it's not doing it now. Let me go ahead and pick that dark. So let's say you pick a dark gray and you're trying to eyeball it, and then you paint and you're like, oh, holy crap, that's really dark. What I'm really after is I'm trying to pick the same or a close value, but just to shift down. So I paint, I'm like, oh no, that's not what I want. 2-finger tap, undo, and then now I'm gonna tap and hold on the screen, and it's gonna pick that very color. Okay, so when I look at that, okay, now it's in the red range, but I can slide it over to the purples, give it a little bit of saturation, and notice how that dot moves. So I can give it a little bit of saturation, and then I can lower the value slightly. So now I have a better gray to work with here. All right, and I'll just keep blocking things in, anything that's meant to be in shadow, again considering my light source. All right, and if you need to make in between adjustments, we can do that. So let's say I want to up my value a little bit. Okay, then I can kind of just paint around here. We can go a little bit darker in value. Paint there as well. Go back, pick our color. Also, Procreate does keep your more recent colors, and then I'm gonna up the value a little bit. You can also change the hue. So now it's starting to look a little bit purplish, so I'm gonna drop the saturation and maybe shift into the reds as we kind of round the corner. Right, to where we would have our highlights and so on. So the other thing you can do is kind of adjust until you hit the perimeter of the color. It's really hard to see, but tap on the screen and you can kind of see how the loop is changing in value, maybe just a little bit. And then now I have an in-between value there I can use. All right. So going back here, again, remember contrast is your friend. I even struggle with it. Maybe that's why I say it so much, to remind myself. But yeah, contrast is what's going to help things really pop in your sketches. And I'm just keeping it loose here. This doesn't feel sci-fi enough, this silhouette. So let's see if we can modify it. Sometimes I'll paint and then erase stuff. And then you can kind of see what you come up with, and if you like that shape, you know, just use that silhouette. Like, I don't know what those are, but it feels better than what I had before. All right, what am I painting? I'm just doing like a sci-fi scene. We're just playing around today. Or maybe I do want, you know, total separation here. I don't know. We're just playing around. All right, back to my shading. Very deserty. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it neutral for sure for now. Then I'll add some green here and there, probably just some mossy green, whatever, that kind of thing. It's definitely easier to paint with value than it is to paint with color at first. All right, so we're doing value. And then I'll add lighting and stuff like that. Okay, so let's keep going here. And when I do stuff like this, I'm really just trying to think of overall blocking in the shapes and colors, right? Because we can come in and add the details later, but we just want to be kind of quick about this. So the further you move away, the less apparent the contrast will be. So I do need to back off the intensity of my shadows. Unless the light's really intense, then you would kind of see that. Actually, okay, light's there, so I'm gonna do shadow this way. I mean, maybe there's primary and secondary. So here's an example of how color can appear different next to another color. So as I paint here, it looks pretty dark, right? As I come here and paint, it's actually lighter than this gray. Isn't that interesting? So as you do your colors, just be aware of the values, the approximate values in your painting. And so that's why, like, that's another reason I squint my eyes when I'm drawing or painting, because it does help you focus on the values more so than the details up front. And speaking of details, the stuff in the background here, I'm not really gonna dig into and throw tons of detail on, but I definitely want to crisp and sharpen things up as we get a bit closer to the foreground. And we'll use some brushes here to smooth things out, so no worries, guys. A little bit lighter in value. So if you get used to using your hue saturation value sliders, right, makes it pretty easy to pick out colors if you know what you're doing. So hue is going to be your like the color of the rainbow, you can kind of think of it that way. And then saturation is how much of that color comes through. So this is a gray with a purple hue, for example. All right, this is a gray with a purple hue. And if I increase the saturation, you can see it basically becomes purple. All right, so going up and down on this square is going to be my value. And then left to right is my hue, or rather saturation. And the hue is the wavelength of color or light, you could say. All right. So that's how to think about it. All right. Peace out, FT. That's a good idea, Jordan. I hadn't really thought about that, actually. But I've seen the tool, at least in traditional painting, where you can do that. Okay, there's our sketch turned off, so now there's our scene, the beginnings of our scene. And let's go ahead and block in the silhouette. I'll just block it in. So I had a little silhouette of a person here. And since Lori's, I guess most of my scenes have desert vibes, partly because I do live in the desert. All right, I need to do this on a new layer. So it's gonna be the very, very top layer. But I do live in the desert. You've seen it, Lori. You know what it's like out here. Or maybe he just has a staff. I like the idea of a staff and just like some sort of large silhouette. And, or I don't know, maybe some robotic backpack with an arm. We'll see. We'll figure it out. It's Sci Fi Sunday after all. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. I do have to wrap this in about an hour, as I have a tutoring engagement I've got to get ready for. So, all right, so we'll just scrub this in like so, nice and dark silhouette. Let's go back to our rocks. Maybe some heavier shadow on these rocks, since it's the foreground, after all. Alright, so we've been painting with shadows a lot. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I do want to start putting in some highlights as well to kind of help things just pop and feel a bit better. And like I mentioned, I'm gonna bring in some texture. We'll use that. Sketch Day Live, thanks for joining. All right, let's throw in a little part line here. Maybe get our other one in. And since this is up close, and I'll probably redo these a couple times, but let's get these like details, right? Because this is closer to us, so we're gonna see more detail. in things. Old habits. I'm trying not to do lines. No offense to lines if you're watching. No lines today. Anyhow, just getting some details in here. I should mention, I totally forgot. I wonder what video game this would be inspired by, but the theme this week for the weekly sketch challenge, the theme this week is video games. Right, so we're sketching things that, it doesn't matter. If you want to do a Pac-Man, maybe I'll do a giant Pac-Man this week or something. Whatever video game you like, that's what we're sketching this week on the channel. Or not the channel, but the Discord. So if you join our Discord and you're looking for something to kind of challenge you and inspire you, we do have a weekly sketch challenge, and the theme is video games. So shout out to Jordan, our mod, our lovely mod, for providing the topic, keeping up on it. Much appreciated. If you guys have ideas or suggestions, feel free to hit him up. I think that's okay to say, right, Jordan? Anyhow, feel free to hit him up. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what you guys all create. This is live. Have now art. And yes, CyberNev, I am doing well. Thank you. Hello, Svetlana. What's up? It is Sci Fi Sunday. I feel like I need to mirror this structure though, this little one. So I'm gonna do something in the background here. Just a little mini structures. Just so we create some approximate consistency. Again, I don't know what those tines are on the tops of these, but at least we have some reference for our lovely character. Let's see. I do want to make this side a little darker, but we got to do that in the background. So, background, midground layer, whatever. Now I'm starting to play with opacity a bit in the brushes. Just play with that a little bit. And also brushstroke. Pay attention to the direction of brushstroke, because that's going to help convey directionality if you need to. So in this instance here, right, I've got ground and then a little something happening, then back out and then down. So that's why my brushstroke is the way it is there. If you are watching on the Instagram, there is a live YouTube stream as well. You can join. I'm not really paying attention to comments there, so if you're hoping to interact, head over to youtube.com/sketchday.com. I mean, sometimes I check, but I can't keep up on everything. Okay, so we got some darks. Now I'm gonna take this pinkish hue, color, whatever, and I do want to at least kind of hit the scene with some of this light. So this is kind of what I was talking about. All right, I want to hit this valley with some of this light. Okay, so I'll leave that there for now. And let's go back to my real marker brush. And now I can start to, I think, play a bit more with tightening up some of these areas, right? And creating, because it's a brush with opacity, variable opacity, and I can push harder or softer. And I feel like I get a little better control. Let's turn off the sketch layer, because I don't think we need that anymore for the scene. Oh, we'll have some flying spacecrafts, Lori. Of course we will. And I am doing well. Thank you, everyone. All right, I do want to up my contrast here. I'm gonna have to push it a bit. But like I said, I have this brush. Works pretty well. I mean, I could paint it that way. The other way I could do it is just with like variable strokes to create some texture. I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Or we could try and go this way. I think I'll just do straight up and down. Let's do a nice strong line. This is where I know I say I don't use the quick line, but in an instance like this, just to give some structure to the drawing, you kind of hit it with a nice neat line. And then the rest of it I can kind of fill in. All right, I got to get that shadow in. And define some of these bumps and lumps and things happening here. I'm trying not to use like solid black. This is not a full black color. I got a new book, by the way, thanks to, I think someone suggested it in chat. It's a book called H Point. It's for car design. So I'm going to take a look at it and give some of my thoughts on the book. So I know some of you have asked in the past about car design sketching and, you know, how to go about doing that. So all right, let's add some more detail here, clean things up. Start painting with light as well. All right, so I got that pinkish light here. So on the tops of some of these, definitely toward the light, maybe just a nice couple spots here and there as well. Shadow. And then I'm going to go a little bit darker, back to that purple. And let's use the same pink now with a tiny, tiny brush. Not too tiny, but small enough that I can kind of hit some of these edges on this structure where it needs it. It's starting to feel like one of those old school gouache paintings. So now it's really just an exercise in kind of refining as you go. Right, and giving definition to these things that are a little closer. Dreams of the Side of South. What's up? That's a cool name. What kind of sauce, though? Let's keep it clean, people. Maybe I'm the one that's trouble. Alright. I don't even know. Like, I'm not even... So, this, they're the same. This one's like, what is going on? But I don't really care. It's fine. It's fine. This is all fine. We're just throwing some techie stuff in at the bottom. Alright, so now kind of do the same over here. Light things up where we need to. Right, I don't have to go in and do, like, zoom in and do everything, but I do want to hit some of these edges. Alright, not being specific about what's happening, but now when I zoom out, it should feel a little cleaner. Can do the same thing here. Just clean up some of these shapes. Jordan says he has no problem hitting him up on the Discord. Yeah, so if you have suggestions or ideas for the weekly sketch challenge, you know, we've tried to cover a lot of topics, product design. We haven't done architecture yet, but that would be a fun one. We did self-portraits. This week it's video games. We could do nature-themed stuff. Whatever you guys want to do, I want to give you a chance to contribute for sure. Your ideas beyond, you know, kind of what I do here. Pardon me. Yeah, this hat is making my head like really sweat. So, whew, here we go, shiny head. Oh my goodness, taking that off. It's comfortable when I go outside, though. I'll tell you what. All right, nice bright white, and we'll continue to pump contrast up. Get some nice light spots where we need it. All right, kind of just some broad strokes here. Being somewhat judicious. So my theme for my Adobe stream this week is how to draw anything, and I'm going to be kind of doing what I do here. You know, I don't usually do it for those peeps, but just taking suggestions. Let's make a new layer for light. Okay, this layer is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to tap on the N and I'm going to go to add, so that now when I paint with something like this blue, if I want to do blue lights, right, they're going to be really bright. So it's a nice way just to kind of pop and add color to your little sci-fi things. So this is all with that marker brush again, that I have as part of the Procreate brushes on my website. All right. Trying to decide if I want. No, I'm going to do red light. I'll do red lights. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. All right, some little lights in here. I need some more contrast, I feel like, through here. So back to, I'm not even sure what layer anymore right now, but it doesn't matter too much. As long as I'm above where I want to be. Okay. Or I can just paint on the layer, but I just wanted to make a part of this a little bit darker. Just kind of hit it with a couple little brush strokes just to sculpt these shapes. Alright, so I do want to be above now. I don't know, maybe there's tiny people down here for scale. Lori mentioned a ship, so I'm gonna put some ship up here at some point. And just some texture detail. And to kind of finish out the column in the front, contrast lighting and all that, I'm gonna import a texture and we'll kind of paste and place that. All right. It looked like I was freezing in there. It was so hot. It's a fun hat. Like it feels nice on my head, but it is. Yeah. It is a hot hat. Hot hat. I kind of want this whole thing to be leaning a bit, but it's too hard for me to like change that right now. So I was kind of just pausing and thinking, how would I change that? But maybe what I'll do is just add some like silhouetted scaffolding type thing to it. I don't really know, but just playing around. And you could kind of have maybe some of that down here or something just to tie things together. Actually, that looks okay. I think I'll keep that. All right, now I really want this to pop and feel more in the foreground, so I'm gonna work on, let's see, I'm gonna work on the light here a little bit. So I'm gonna do another add layer, and really want this to, yeah, that looks better. Just needs to have like some stronger light up front. It's that same reddish pink color from the sun here, or whatever this is. Whatever that is, we'll tweak, but I wanted to create some difference here in value. Maybe something like that. And then now on the back side, I will, oops, why am I on palettes? Classic. Let's go back to our cool purple. Just create some texture, and then like I said, I'll bring in a picture to kind of help with that texture as well. But just a little random brush stroke here. All right, I don't love that, so let's undo. Let's undo, let's try again. Let's pull in that same gray from the dude, or creature, whatever it is. And then go back to my add layer. Make this just a little bit lighter. So if you are watching on Instagram and you're like, this sucks, what is he doing? You'll want to check out YouTube. It should look better for you there. Should look a lot better. I hope. Maybe it looks bad in both. I don't know. So I'm just applying some brush strokes over this whole structure here. Some contrast. A little wider in the stroke. Yeah, there we go. Just on these columns and maybe up here behind these lights. Something like that. Leaning Tower of Tatooine, I guess so. Maybe. I wasn't really thinking Tatooine specifically, but I can see where that works. All right, so I really wanted to do some like red uplighting in these pits. All right, so I can kind of use the marker brush and just kiss some of these spots with the right size brush. Now I've got some red uplighting there. Maybe just a hint of that red closer to our pit. All right, I'm gonna have to do something different there, but a little bit closer to the pit here. Maybe we've got some red uplighting. So Sketch Day Live, thanks for joining. And I'm gonna lower the opacity just a touch. Just a titch. All right. Thank you, Sweets Almond TV. Thank you. Thanks for joining, guys. It's your first time, just a little bit about me. I am a designer by day, Cape Crusader by night. Just kidding. I just love drawing, but I am a designer and design products. But you know, painting's fun, and it is Sci Fi Sunday. I love sci-fi, so we're just kind of painting and coming up, dreaming some stuff here. So appreciate you joining, being a part of this. All right. So yes, tons of layers, tons of buildup, tons of overlaps, and that's totally fine. That's how we do. Ooh, I think a nice like red glow right there would be cool actually. So I'm gonna add that behind the tower. Now that I think about it. Just clean up some of this mountainous mess back here. And then we'll finish up the character, tighten things up a little bit. Okay, where's my tower? My tower's right here. So, although I want the glow over everything, so I'm gonna make a new layer. Let's pick this red, and could do this with the marker brush. And then now I'll just erase what I don't need, so I get a little bit of a glow happening. Maybe some particulates. Ooh, that glow could have been better. I didn't realize. All right, let's do that one more time. Erase a little bit. And then now I'm going to take that marker brush add a couple little effects here and there. But we do this on a new layer too. Get some normal red in there as well. All right, and one more. So whenever you look at these digital drawings, sometimes people do them on one layer, but it's a lot more challenging. But if you are strategic about your layer use, you can make some things a lot easier, right? So certainly worth considering if you're painting or drawing. Again, if you're watching on Instagram, definitely check out the youtube.com/sketchday.com. Okay, so I'm gonna take a metal texture here, see if I can find one just real quick. This looks pretty good. It's a little rusty thing. All right, maybe not. I just want a free rusty texture. Why are you guys so mean? Actually, I'll just use Unsplash. Maybe they'll have something. Maybe. I mean, that could work. That's pretty. You obviously have no idea what I'm looking at, but that's okay. Hang with me. Hang with me. All right, let's see here. I wonder if I could use that. Maybe I could use that piece. That doesn't work. Actually, yeah, that doesn't work, but let's just start with it anyways. Okay, so one of the cool things about a Mac is you can like copy and then paste from your Mac without having to like actually transfer the file. So now I can just go add, paste. All right, so now I have that texture I was looking at, and I can drop it over here. And I hope my plan works. My plan is to take the saturation out of this one. So I'm going to adjust the saturation from the layer. We'll just take it out. We'll change the layer blending mode. Just kind of play with one that works. And you can adjust the opacity as well. So it's not a huge deal. I'm just trying to get one that, you know, pushes the texture through. Overlay seems to be working. Now I can adjust the opacity. Like so, if I want to warp the texture, you tap the arrow and warp a little bit so it feels like it curves a bit more. All right, so we can do stuff like that. And then I'll just make a selection where I want the texture to show up. Three finger swipe down, cut and paste. It's on a new layer. I'll go back to overlay. And let's get rid of that. So, two finger tap, adjust the opacity. If we want to erase some of it, we can. Right, just to play with things, like so. So now I've got that like nice rusty look there. And if I want to clean up and tighten things up, it just means you come in with a nice small brush, for example. Right, so here I am kind of defining some stuff a bit better. Right, so that kind of helps things feel a little more defined. All right. And I think I had this image as well. I'm gonna copy, we'll paste over here because I wanted to see if this would work actually. So take some of these fasteners, like say this one, three fingers, cut and paste. Now I've got this little doodad. Let's clean it up a little bit though, because I wasn't super careful in my selection. And I do want that dark bit around it, like so. Let's go ahead and scale this down. Oops, scale it down. It like wants to scale. Yeah, it wants to scale because it's so small. All right, there we go. So now I can kind of place this and let's duplicate. Let's see. Yeah, this is being annoying. Okay, there we go. All right, so maybe I want some little fasteners on this or something. We can, you know, throw those in if you wanted to. Back to my add layer here. Get some more light on the top. Admittedly, that what I was trying to do there would be a little bit easier on something like Photoshop for me to do that. But here we are. Not sure what happened there, so let's see. Okay, looks like I got a weird stroke, so at least I caught it. Can erase that. Now I'm going to go back to my reds and just do a little bit of touch up on these rocks. And this is all with that marker brush again. So trying to capture a bit of not downlighting, uplighting. Right, so if you're uplighting something, okay, you want to be mindful of the direction of the surface. contrast, things like that. So you can kind of see here, for example, maybe you can't, but I'm trying to shade what I would normally shade a shadow in as with light. And that's the idea of creating some uplighting. And then whatever is like your normal, you know, tone or texture above, then I can come in, kind of fill that in. So Sketch Day Live, thanks again joining and hanging out on this Sci-Fi Sunday. Hope you're having fun. Life is good. All right, I totally neglected the chat. My apologies. This is not a Wacom. This is an iPad Pro. This is an iPad Pro. It is Sci-Fi Sunday. All right, so I got a couple things to add here. Like Lori mentioned, we have. Well, I'm gonna just rough in this dude. Let's see, how are we on time? Yeah, I'm just gonna rough in this dude. My goal was about an hour and a half, so we'll wrap things up pretty quick here. Make sure I'm on the right layer. Where are you? There you are. You were supposed to be on the very top layer. How many layers do we have? Let's see. I'm gonna check my Procreate settings. You go to Canvas, Canvas information, layers. So I've used 28 layers. I can do 44 more, which is pretty awesome. This is a 4K sized canvas that I'm using here. 4K sized. I mean, truthfully, I could have actually, I wonder if that would work. Let's see. Let's have some fun. So I'm going to export this as a JPEG. And, well, maybe not. I don't want you guys to see my share sheet. How would I do this? Oh, I could do a snapshot or a screenshot. And then I'm going to tap on this and crop it to about here. Since I did all this work, you'll see what I'm trying to do. Now I'm going to hit up, share, copy. Cool, it's copied. So now I can delete this. And then let's go ahead and paste. And I should have, yep, there we go. So I should have kind of the combination of all those layers. So if I want to repeat this in the background behind it, I could do that. And then do like a freeform kind of transform to kind of scale things a little bit if you want to throw it off. And then maybe this one is actually rotated or crashed or not, you know. Push this back. Let's see. I think it's, yep, that layer right there. So now it's behind. Or we can just leave it and erase. You can erase or mask. I don't typically use masks a lot. But my point is, if you wanted another tower, you've already done the work. So why, you know, stress? Just figure out a way to blend it in. And then you could even like duplicate and move this a little higher. Put this behind that one there. Let's see, we can flip horizontally. Nope, let's not do that. Let's flip vertically. Would that work? Yeah, we can flip vertically, and then I'm gonna scale down just a little bit. And let's merge these down. So now I have another tower for my scene here. If I want. And I'm gonna go ahead, let's see, because I want this to feel a little bit better. So we can make some adjustments, things like brightness, saturation on this layer. So we can lower the saturation on the layer. We could make it a little brighter or darker if you wanted to. But that's not what I'm after. What I'm after, I wonder if I could, I should be able to do it with the curve tool. Yeah, I kind of want to just wash it out is what I'm trying to do. So yeah. There we go. So we can kind of wash it out a little bit. And then let's make a, oops, I'm like lost here. Okay. So then I'm going to tap, hit select, and now with this real marker brush, again, take like just a muddy gray. Okay, a nice big muddy gray, and just lightly paint over it. Now, it's still not giving me what I want, so I'm going to do this on a new layer, and then do my little washout thing here. If you wanted to. So to then help match the lighting, what I would do is then take some of the red that we had before and then kind of just paint up. All right, so that's how you can kind of like comp things together, if you will, if you wanted to. But let's go ahead and group those, and I can turn it off. If I decide I don't want it, we can turn it off. All right, super flexible, super powerful tool, and it's only $10. I think that's one of the best things to, oh, export JPEG and then copy, cool. I think that's one of the best things about the app is it is, what's the word? It is affordable, pretty cheap. Okay, so on top of everything, let's go ahead and, because I want the light here also to be kind of coming up. So let's go back to my brush pack, soft airbrush, and I'm just gonna hit here a couple times. Back to my marker. So this mega brush pack comes with about 30 brushes. I think it's 30, something like that. But tons of brushes for you to play with should you desire. Okay, I like this glow because it obscures a few things that I didn't really like. There's also an issue here that I'm gonna try and resolve with some red, which is this pit. I want to be bigger, so I don't need the foreground right there. And the strong red element kind of helps frame things out. So I'm gonna lean into that red a bit, get some lighting on this slight overhang. All right, something like that. And then if we want to enhance that even more, you can use that trick on the layer blend mode to go to add. And then when I paint now, it's going to make the red even that more intense in certain spots where I want it to be. Alright, so if I want to bring out some shape under here, for example, we can kind of do that. All right. It's taking a little longer than I wanted to, but it's alright. It's all good. Okay. So now in the background, I want to add some haze, and then let's do like just a quick spaceship form and finish up foreground guy. Okay. So that's going to be my task. Finish up foreground guy. Add some haze. And go from there. I should be able to just do it on the same layer. I'm not going to worry too much about being careful or blending modes at this point. So you may notice that I like zoom out on the iPad. That's because I want to be able to just kind of work on like big areas without me worrying about details or anything like that. So that's why I've zoomed out here. For example, now I can zoom back in. All right, so there's obviously some light coming from this pit, and so I want to make sure our dude here has some decent like rim light. Also helps your character or elements feel more like part of the scene. And we can do that. I don't remember what this line is, but I'm gonna leave it. It feels kind of cool. Yeah, no idea what that is. And perhaps he has a blue light because, you know, he's part of the resistance, whatever resistance this is. Maybe this is some sort of crystal. It's almost like a space wizard, so we're gonna get some blue light in here. Up top as well. Space wizard. Does that sound familiar? Like a Jedi? Everything is a remix, no doubt. All right, so next to this now, let's go ahead and use some nice dark values. And create some folds. I'm not the best at folds, obviously, but you know, if you want to have some reference, whatever, certainly that'll help. So I'm just gonna simplify, I think, what's happening down here, right here even. Yeah, that looks better. On this side now, maybe take some of this, you know, pink alien sunlight, like so. And new layer, let's go with this blue. I'm going to switch the blending mode to add. Let's hit the inside here, and then, you know, this could be like so. Kind of decide, or is this character casting a light, or is it just, you know, some sort of glow like that? You get to decide, obviously. Grievous. Maybe it is Grievous. I don't know. I wasn't planning on it being Grievous, actually. So let's go with just this little glow. And on the same layer, I'll just use the same layer for these additional glow effects as our light is affecting our character. At least the silhouette of our character, and certainly we're going to get some of that light hitting the ground. Maybe a bit on those rocks. Not those rocks far away. I'm just cheating a little bit and using the same light. So Sketch Day Live, thanks for joining. Hope you're having a happy Sunday. We're about to wrap up here with our painting for the day. Thanks for hanging. Let's see, Sketch Day 1, soft airbrush. So I do have 2 brush packs on the website, and some of you may have thought, man, this is confusing. Why is there two brush packs? Well, I released an initial brush pack a few years ago, and then, you know, wanted to improve on a few things. So that's where brush pack 2 comes from. And the idea there was to make some improvements and meaningful improvements. So that's what I tried to do. So feel free to check that out. That is the mega pack. If you like sketching, there's textures and all sorts of stuff for you. And, you know, don't hesitate. Feel free to ask questions about the brushes if you have purchased, or even let's throw some little stars in the sky. You know, ask others in the Discord as well. I know some of you've picked those up. Alright, so we need a spaceship here for Lori's comment. So I'm just going to block in some sort of wedge-shaped craft. Just block it in, and then I'm going to take this blue stuff and just put back here. And now, did I just do that? So annoying. Sometimes, okay, good. It's just right there. Sometimes you'll be drawing and then, like, your little pinky will, or my pinky will interfere with the screen. And so then I get these weird spots showing up. So I know some people like using drawing gloves as a way to kind of mitigate that, but I don't like feeling like a ninja while I'm drawing personally. So I kind of avoid it. All right, so maybe there's some sort of, oops, that was the layer below. Maybe there's some sort of craft here. All right, I'm just gonna have to erase this. So let's cut and paste, and I'll just erase that. And now on the right layer, we'll add some definition. Okay. Maybe just some strong lines. Nothing too much. Alright, so here just kind of painting with shape. More than lines. We'll take a look at our underlay in a minute as well. Okay, I need to fix this. Yeah, something like that. Alright, so that should feel better now. Maybe some particles. A bit of white inside. And to help tie this in the scene, a little bit of that pink light, more sun. So when you pick a lighting color, lighting source, all of that stuff, you want to be at least somewhat aware of it, and then figure out a way to like put it into your sketches. Okay, so I'm actually going to lower the opacity slightly on this, and then on a new layer now, let's add some haze to the scene. Just a little bit of haze, so just a very light gray. I'm going to try and use this marker brush still, because I actually like kind of the feel of it. So I'm going to try and add some atmospheric haze here. Maybe a little bit up front as well. Can always erase a bit of this if need be. So yeah, now I'm going to take an eraser and I'm going to use a nice soft big airbrush and just kind of lightly massage this haze. Because I do want to bring out like the sun and character here a bit more, so it's not totally washed out. Alright, so there's our rocks. Rocks, crystals, whatever. Just standing there. Okay, so you can do some cool stuff if you just play with your layering and brush opacity and all that stuff. So all the blue lights from the Space Wizard magic, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they are. Let's put some alien characters on our superstructures here. You know, so I'm gonna zoom in real close and then okay, new layer. And let's just put in, just for effect, some sort of alien characters here and there. I don't know what they mean. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's the meaning of life. These characters. Maybe. I'm gonna lower the opacity just by erasing some of this one. And we can add effects like maybe some scratches, cracks, things like that. Texture dots. So yeah, guys, don't be afraid to play around, jump in. You know, these things take time, certainly. If I spent another probably 2 hours on this, I could have something better that I would, you know, consider even putting in like a portfolio or something like that. So I guess my message to you today would be patient with yourself as you know, get creative and you're trying to figure things out. Be patient, it'll come. You'll figure it out. You'll figure out your process, and eventually, you know, because even I'm still learning. I'm still learning things, and I know there's things about this that are not great necessarily, but certainly a little bit of practice, you'll get there as well. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've had fun. If you did, thumbs up. If you didn't, still thumbs up. And definitely subscribe so you'll know when to come back and, you know, hate on the stream or love it, either way. But I do want to say special shout out and thank you, as always, to the patrons and channel members. If you don't know what that is, when you go to YouTube, there's an option to join the channel, or you can check out patreon.com/sketchaday. And as I always say, I would do this regardless, but it certainly makes it a lot easier and helps me improve the show when you do contribute. So much appreciated, much love to you. Shout out Latrice, solid as always. Thanks for joining, Lori, Jordan, some of our patrons as well. If you are an Ultimate fan or higher, I owe you a sketch from last month. You got to tell me which one you want. So when you do that, I will sign the sketch and add a little note for you and send that to you anywhere in the world. So that is the perk. Be sure to check out the website. Come say hi on Instagram. But most importantly, remember that passion is the process. If you learn something, share something with someone, it's going to make you better ultimately. Okay, guys, I'm going to peace out, rest up, and get ready for my tutoring session. And with that, take care, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow right here on Sketchaday.